Greetings, everyone. There's a statement that what's in the dark must come to light. That simply means that whatever is happening behind closed doors eventually will become clear to everybody. So, for the individuals who are going through a difficult time or have experienced some painful things in life, from people who continue to pose or poise as if they're good, and you're looking at your internal struggles and you're thinking to yourself, these guys are getting away. No, they are not. And it doesn't matter how well they can hide the fact that they're not good. After a while, now that barrier will fall and they will expose their eyes. Now, I'm going to briefly talk about the situation with the Dalai Lama. Have you guys seen the story that's going around? I don't want to get into the whole detail of it, just go in search of it. But a lot of persons are talking about what he did in public, um, you know, and they're missing a very key, a very critical component. They are unaware that the Dalai Lama doesn't have the ability to hide his truth anymore. See, a lot of people have been doing things when they're young, in their prime, in the best time of their life. But when you get to a certain age, you know how they say, once a man, twice a child, they get to the point where they cannot control their truth. That's why if you're able to share your truth from very early on, I know some things are hard to tell, but if you start talking about the truth or present yourself for who you really are, then it won't be so difficult over time to just say, okay, this is me. Here I am, accept me or refuse me. So I've seen that happen before with a mayor of this country who was well loved. But to the end of his career, he started saying things like, oh, I'm afraid to go to Africa because I don't want them to eat me. So even though he seemed so nice, when he was getting older, he could no longer hide his truth. And so for the Dalai Lama, this man who have traveled around the world, who have inspired so many people, I don't think I can now say, well, everything that he said should be discarded, because even the worst person can bring a message of hope and truth and whatever. It doesn't change the fact that they're human and as a result is flawed. We are all flawed. But the thing with this Dalai Lama story is that what he did publicly, one can assume or allege that he has been doing privately. Because that whole scenario with him speaking to that young one in those terms, and wow, while people are watching, there's another thing I want to say too. Listen, when you are respected by people, when you're held in high regard or esteem by human beings, they're blinded by you. They don't see the truth, or they oftentimes don't hear, because as he made those utterance, you hear people laughing, and somehow they would see that as innocent foreplay. Excuse the pun. Can you imagine? So this is a lesson. We all have to take lessons to say that a lot of time we're thinking that people have done things and that, oh my goodness, you're there waiting, twiddling your finger and your thumb and saying, when is God gonna come and exact justice? No, God is not there to exact justice on people. They do something, and when we talk about equilibrium, there must be balance. So if you tip the scale far down left, the other part is going to go out of whack. There must be balance, and there has to be balance with our deeds. So I'm not here to try him in the court of public opinion. I'm just asking the people who are listening to this video to understand that he is no longer able to camouflage his truth. That is his truth. And if some people are brave enough, they will eventually come out and share their experience. In my opinion, there is nothing innocent about what he was doing and what he said to that young one. Okay, I'd like to keep this video up. So unfortunately, when we speak, we're just very direct, there is an issue. And you know what is being promoted in the world. So you can't just come out and say, oh, I'm lashing out against this thing. You stand in your truth, you stand in your own power and all of that, but you use wisdom also. And I also want you guys to think. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, to go do your research. So, as I'm using the Dalai Lama as an example today, and examining or trying to analyze that little clip that I saw, I'm saying to people, listen, you cannot trust anybody. You can't trust yourself. But what I'm seeing is very concerning, but it's not really different from some of the stories we've heard in the past with clergymen or people who are in the church. The important lesson here is the only person you should have this divine relationship with is with the spirit that lives within you. The moment you start looking at another human being and expecting them to be anything other than human, flawed or otherwise, then you are putting too much love and respect to that person or those individuals. What he said and what he did is not a new thing, and I'm sure a lot of persons are not surprised. Just learn from it and be careful. Stay blessed, everyone.